Hi there, thank you so much for joining me again for another video, and as always I'm very grateful for your previous likes, views and subscriptions. It's Star Wars Day. I simply could not resist putting together a little video on everyone's favourite diminutive green mentor and Jedi Master Yoda, and so I'm just going to have a quick look through some key events through the movies and just see how they can point towards some religious ideas and teachings. In episode 2, here's a very famous duel with Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee. And it really interesting how when George Lucas was putting Star Wars together, apparently this idea of the Force he tied in with Sikh ideas about God, but also think of this idea of the soldier saints in Sikhism, the Khalsa, that group of men and women who make a very visible commitment to their faith, and how one of the items that they'll have of the 5Ks is a kirpan, which is a knife, which is symbolic of defending the weak and should only be used when absolutely necessary. And rather like Yoda, he only uses his lightsaber when absolutely necessary, and it's also a visual treat to see him whooshing around the screen and fighting there and dueling with Count Dooku. Another thing that I wanted to highlight was in episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and he's training Luke Skywalker, and Yoda makes it clear that to be a Jedi is a struggle, and it's much like the concept of jihad in Islam. Jihad literally means to struggle. And there's a really telling moment, and it's one of my favourite moments in the whole of the series, where Luke is being trained by Yoda on the Dagobah system, and he goes off on his own into a cave, and there he has a vision, okay, of Darth Vader, okay, a vision or a dream, some kind of religious quasi experience, however you want to phrase it, and he duels with him and he decapitates Darth Vader, and as the mask explodes, it peels back, it reveals not his we doesn't know of course his father at the time, but his own face, okay. And when they actually shot the movie, it is actually the real Mark Hamill. He's actually on the floor and he pokes his head through the mask here, the broken mask, and that is to show that he has to fight and battle himself. To be a good Jedi, Luke has to conquer the dark side, as it were, within him and adhere to those Jedi teachings. So it's a very clever concept, and it's really well illustrated, and I do love that moment where Yoda makes it clear, look, you have to have that struggle and battle within yourself. And I think another one that I particularly like is in episode 8, okay, The Last Jedi, and there's a brilliant moment where there is Luke is on his island and the spirit force, the force spirit of Yoda appears to him, and there's been a fire and the destruction of the Jedi text, and Luke Skywalker says, so it's time for the Jedi Order to end. Yoda, and don't worry, I won't do the voices, says, time it is for you to look past a pile of old books. Skywalker, the sacred Jedi texts. Yoda, I'll read them, have you? Page turners they were not. Yes, yes, yes. Wisdom they held, but that library contained nothing that the girl Rey does not already possess. First of all, I love his irreverent sense of humour. Talks about, really, you've read all those holy Jedi books? But actually there's something quite deep about this, saying that Rey, who's been trained by Luke to be a Jedi, she has the necessary wisdom for her quest. And it's this idea of looking beyond books and I guess artifacts in a religion, this idea that actually the Jedi faith, the Jedi Order, is more than just possessions and items. And that got me thinking about in the Buddhist faith. Apologies for my pronunciation and the length of this, where there's a story about a Vietnam veteran was overheard rebuking the Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh, okay, I'll call him Han, about his unswerving dedication to non-violence. You're a fool, said the veteran. What if someone had wiped out all the Buddhists in the world and you were the last one left? Would you not try to kill the person who is trying to kill you, and in doing so to save Buddhism? Han answered patiently, it would be better to let them kill me. If there is any truth to Buddhism and the Dharma is teaching, it will not disappear from the face of the earth, but will reappear when seekers of truth are ready to discover it. rediscover it. I think that's really profound. This idea that even if all the Buddhists in the world were wiped out, Han the monk is saying, look, the truth of Buddhism still exists. It's still there. It just needs to be waiting for someone else to rediscover it. And similar to what Yoda is saying, he's saying, look, despite the fact all the Jedi texts have disappeared, the truth about being a Jedi and its values are still there. They still exist. Okay, and if the whole of the Jedi Order is gone, it doesn't matter. The truth is still there. And I think that's really fascinating. So if you take any particular faith and said that all the believers were suddenly vanished or disappeared, okay, and all the holy texts, then that truth would still be there for those religious believers. It'd just be up for some others to discover it. So I think that's really fun. Just have that sort of play and investigate and consider and reflect upon that. And as always, I just want to leave you with that. Please feel free amongst yourselves to chat. And of course, if you're able to, like and subscribe, but most importantly, enjoy your learning.